Beautiful people, how are you all doing today? I do hope you are well. I'm well, but I'm boiling. I've got my Sarah fan ready. Goes quite nicely with my frock, doesn't it? Oh, it's definitely cooled down, but the humidity today, and I have a clean handkerchief should I need to, in a very ladylike way, dab. Yeah, also I've just come home up Cardio Hill, so yeah, I've had my cardio workout today, and in the granny trolley, apart from everything else, 20 kilos of compost. I think the last bag of compost this year. Anyway, so, right, date. Today is the 14th of July, but you will see this, I think, on the 1st of August. I'm gradually inching towards being more contemporary with what you see. A couple of recent videos that you will have seen, Sunday in Swanage and my shopping, they were from 2 months ago, but in that kind of desperate need to try and, desire to try to bring the gardening ones more contemporary. Every time I thought I'd put one of those out, it's like, oh no, put another gardening one out, I've done a gardening one. Anyway, so it's the 14th of July for me. The reason that's significant is because I've just had a lovely Vivi, I've just had a lovely visit from our gorgeous Richard and Paul. Richard took some lovely footage actually of their time, so I'll try to remember on the end of this to put one of those cards on of his vlogs. Beautiful footage from Corfe, etc. So they visited, and it was my birthday, so you can see I've got some of my cards from you lovely people. Thank you for lovely cards, and there's a few tucked away there. There's more up there, there's more up there, there's a few over there. Thank you so much for your kind birthday wishes, and I also want to say thank you for a couple of gifts. This one is now empty. Just took the label off, it needs washing still, but the lovely Ian and Sarah sent a sweet little package that included, naughty, this black cherry jam. Oh my goodness, it was so good. But obviously I've been having a sugar-free life. However, as mentioned when the chaps had their previous visit, as long as I'm sugar-free most of the time, if occasionally I have an ice cream, fine. So this jam was shared, one of our breakfasts with me and the lads. We mullered the jam and it was gorgeous. So I just had a couple of pieces of toast, yeah, I had bread as well, a couple of pieces of toast with jam, really enjoyed it. And I think that's the thing about a treat, isn't it? If it's just once in a blue moon, it really is a treat. So that was lovely. Had some fabric from Joe, thank you. And had these two gorgeous books from Angela, which I can't wait to get stuck into. I think I'm going to go with this one first, except I'm reading that sea detective thing that Paul gave me, Malice of the Waves. He's just brought another one down, which is, it actually comes before Malice of the Waves. So I'm going to read the other, I think it's something like She Walks into the Sea. How appropriate. Oh yes, because while they've been here, I've had my first swims of the year at last. Yay, at last the water is just about warm enough for me to tolerate. Once I'm in, I'm absolutely fine, I don't care. It's the getting in, it's that ankles up to tummy bit that I really struggle with. I'm such a baby. But once I get my shoulders under, once I get swimming around, love it. So it's gorgeous to be a little sea otter again, and that is continuing now. So I'm hoping, well, I will certainly swim, not necessarily every day, but hopefully 3 or 4 times a week, possibly every day if I've got the time. But certainly right through to the end of September into October, because the sea is at its warmest in September around here. And then what I'm aiming to do is to keep going. I'll spend less time in the water. I mean, I'm happy to stay up there for half an hour just bobbing around. But as we go into the end of October, into November, as the water temperature starts to come down, I'm hoping to keep it going because then I'll start to build up my cold tolerance so that by February and March, when it's at its coldest, I'll have acclimatised. That's the way to approach cold water swimming, is you need to acclimatise. Anyway, so it's utterly glorious to be back in the water. It's wonderful to me to have wet bathing suits hanging around, beach towels full of sand hanging around. It's just great. I'll tell you more about those in a second. So I got distracted because I was going to tell you about these books, then I remembered the Paul books that he brought. So these are next after the Paul books. So the first one, Paul Lamb, Of Thorn and Briar, which say A Year with a West Country Hedge Layer. Can't wait. And inside, so each chapter is a month of the year, and there's a lovely woodcut with it. In fact, there's an extra one. That's his, it's like a sort of caravan, it's a mobile home. Gorgeous woodcuts. This is just my kind of thing. So he's in the West Country. Oh yeah, it says West Country Hedge Layer. I'm not sure which counties yet, but I'm going to presume Somerset, Dorset, Devon, Cornwall. Cannot wait. Now, when I flicked through it, all excited, there he is, sitting outside his van. That's a good life. Loved the woodcuts. I was looking all over for the artist because it's not on the jacket, it's not on the flyleaf. I got my knickers in a twist because I was thinking, once again, this is an artist not being properly acknowledged. So I looked it up. But then when Paul picked, I showed it to Paul because I thought he might like it. It's like literally the third thing on the copyright page. Illustrations, Robin Mackenzie. See, I wrote it down. I googled him. I mean, I looked up the book. Robin Mackenzie is the woodcut. Anyway, that looks like it's going to be a gorgeous book. Can't wait. Next is Our Oaken Bones by Merlin Hanbury Tennyson. It's quite posh by the sounds. It's Reviving a Family Farm and Britain's Ancient Rainforests. I've mentioned this briefly before, but it's something a lot of people don't realise about the UK, is we have rainforests. Talking of rainforests and water, I need a glug. Now, obviously they're not tropical rainforests, they're temperate rainforests, but there are tiny pockets of rainforest left in the UK. Other pockets of rainforest, the Pacific Northwest, New Zealand, Japan. I think there might be some in Eastern Europe, is it Hungary? I'm not sure, but these little tiny pockets of rainforest, temperate rainforest, disappearing. So I think what it is, I think his family farm abuts one, or the acreage includes some rainforest. I haven't dipped into it at all yet, so that's all I know at the moment, but also looks like a wonderful read. Angela, thank you so much. As always, picked the most magnificent, perfect books for me. Exactly the sort of thing that I would pick for myself if I had enough pocket money to go into a brand new bookshop. So thank you. Yes, so the chaps came down and silly boys left another card to say thank you. It's another I've got the other one in the front room. Another card from Sophie Stock. This is Richard's niece. Sophie Stock art. So cute. That one looks, the Blobcat collection, that one looks a little bit confused. But they also left a little button badge and I love it. Super nice. Are they saying that about themselves or about me? I think we're all super nice. So that button badge is going to go on my pin board, where I've got a recipe pinned that I pulled out of a magazine. I got a free magazine with something. Pulled out that recipe because I've got some of the ingredients in my cupboard and I was going to make it while the guys were here, but why didn't we get round to it? Oh, because when we had our day out at Corfe, we didn't have lunch at my home that day. So that I'll make with you guys because I think you might like it. It's black lentils and artichoke hearts and other bits. So yeah, that's in the cupboard. Brilliant. Now speaking of Corfe, so we had our day out in Corfe Castle. I know that many of you will at least know of Corfe Castle. Many of you will have driven past it on your way down into Purbeck. perhaps for a holiday in Swanage. It is magnificent. And this little plan. I love a little plan. I love a little map to get around with. I love this as well because I have to go right behind it, but you won't be able to hear microphone. It's sort of reminiscent. It's almost like a child's book illustration. And I love maps in books. I love illustrated books. But imagine as a kid that in a book. Oh, wouldn't you want to explore that castle? Well, you can if you come to Corfe. So it's a National Trust property. So obviously if you're a National Trust member, you get in free, and the car park is then free as well. If you're not a member, it's quite pricey. The car park is £5, I think. But you can get on the, you can go to Corfe on the bus. There's a bus stop right near the castle. You take a number 40 from Swanage, and it will take you about 25 minutes on the bus. It's a beautiful ride though. It takes the top road through the quarrying villages, so my grandparents' village, as I showed you. Or if you're coming the other way around, if you're coming down from Wareham, it's sort of 15 minutes from Wareham. You could even come over, I know some of you come from Bournemouth or Poole for the day, so if you get your number 50 over the ferry to get to Swanage and then pick up a number 40 to get up to Corfe Castle, well worth a visit. So if you're not a member, it's £14, so it's quite expensive to visit. But again, like jam as a treat, if you're someone who doesn't do a lot of days out, don't pay for foreign holidays, you're not getting on airplanes every year, then £14, save up for it. It's such fun. And the views are stunning. The views are gorgeous. Oh, and sometimes, and I did get a little tiny clip of this, I'll slot it in, sometimes if you're up there for long enough, you will see the steam trains as well. So we were up there long enough to see one going that way and then another, the down one. So here's a little bit of footage of one of the trains making its way through the valley. I mean, the kids love it. It's just, for them, it's Hogwarts, isn't it? A castle and a steam train. There are some special excursion tickets. You can buy an all-in-one ticket if you're, again, in Swanage. You can take the steam train up to Corfe. The station is, it's barely 150, 200 metres from the castle entrance. So again, it's all really tiny. So you get off the train. I mean, I was going to say this in terms of for people with mobility issues. If you've got mobility issues, it means you're in a wheelchair or mobility scooter, you're not going to be going in the castle, because no matter how much they try, there's the first area they have made it accessible for scooters and wheelchairs. But honestly, the best part of it, the top part of it, is way too steep and it's really uneven, and yeah. But in any case, the station is near the castle, so give yourselves a fab trip. What else did I want to say? Oh yes, so finally, just about their trip, because I know that Richard got loads of lovely footage I don't need to repeat. But one of the delights for me was when they arrived and we went out into the back garden, because the back garden has now set us up as a dining room. It's a permanent dining room for summer, although we're due a storm tomorrow, so I might have to batten things down. So they arrived, it was getting on for lunchtime anyway. Go to the back garden, and both of them sort of went, wow, it's really grown. Because of course last time they were here I hadn't planted anything. I was still clearing, and the patio was a mess, and there were piles of detritus from chopped up trees and bits everywhere. So it was really nice for me to see their surprise at the garden. And what was also lovely was spotting and getting more and more wildlife coming into the garden now, which is a joy, an absolute joy. If we create gardens, we invite the wildlife in. So we had to do a bit of looking up for clarity, but adding to my list of and I've started to see ladybirds in the garden now. I hadn't got any ladybirds, now they're here. But the really wonderful ones were the 2 types of hummingbird hawk moths. They are amazing creatures, big furry bodies, great long proboscis, hence the hummingbird. They use that proboscis to get into the flowers for the nectar. And then it looks like their wings are way too small to get them airborne. You just see this furry body flying around. So 2 types of hummingbird hawk moth. There was the common hummingbird hawk moth, which is brownish, and then the pink hummingbird hawk moth, and that has, its wings are reddish. So yeah, what a joy, what an absolute joy to be seeing wildlife coming into the garden, and to share that with 2 really good friends who also appreciate both the garden and the wildlife that's coming in. Lovely. We're actually going to go out there in a second. That storm is starting today. You can tell with the humidity, and the wind is whipping up, so we might have to crouch by the back door. But there were some plants that came up from London. I'll show you in a sec. I had to write them down. I don't know them. So finally in here, before we go out there, one book I have now read is The Swordfish and the Star. I mentioned I had this and The Malice of the Waves, which one to do first. So I went with non-fiction, because non-fiction is always my preference. Subtitle, Life on Cornwall's Most Treacherous Stretch of Coast. So it's right down near the Lizard. Which villages does it cover? It's the Penwith Peninsula. It's a wonderful book. I really enjoyed it. I'm not going to say I loved it. It wasn't that strong a reaction. It was a 7 out of 10 for me. But the writer, Gavin Knight, journalist, he spent time interviewing locals. Really, what notes did I make? It's a story of how harsh life is in that part of the world. The dangers of both living by the sea but going to sea, earning a living by going to sea. So there's a lot of it is about the fishing communities. There's stuff about the lifeboat communities. Of course, the Penly lifeboat disaster in 1981, that's down at Mousehole. Mousehole is one of the villages. I liked the timing. I was reading this, and then in our local paper, I just clipped out to share. This is, when was this? This is the Purbeck Gazette. This was the last issue in June, but they did this bit of little piece on our lifeboat here, and this is a father and son duo who go out on our lifeboat. I mean, his wife must be terrified every time they go out. That's her husband and her son going out. Bravo, bravo, our brave lifeboat people. So yes, so it covers, it's the fishing community, but it also covers a little bit about the art community and how that's changed things, the whole kind of sort of the popularisation of St Ives by the artists. And this goes back 100 years. So it's got that sort of history in it as well. It's very character driven. It's about the characters there, but they don't pull their punches either. It's not an episode of Doc Martin, you know, it's not all sort of twee. Oh, I was trying to stretch. I've had a bit of a sore back for a few days. It's not sort of twee, oh, they're slightly dopey but fun characters. Oh, they're so sweet but they're a bit dozy. It's not that. These are hard men and women. Really hard. Got to be to live there, to work there, to make a living in such a harsh environment. That's going to lead to hardness. So there are, I'm just mentioning this in case any of you are a bit soft-hearted and wouldn't like it, but it includes things like fights in pubs. There are fights. There's conversation in there about drugs and what drugs is doing to the rural community, but I highly recommend it. thoroughly enjoyed it. It was interesting for me to read it, comparing their lives with where I am here, where it's a much softer life by the sea. Of course, there are dangers, and we do have, like I said, we do have a lifeboat crew, and that's dangerous for them. And there are a very few families who earn their living on the sea here. So yeah, but yeah, really interesting difference between our two areas. Loved it. Right, let's pop into the garden and see what goodies came all the way to London and are going to be part of my little cottage garden by the sea here in Dorset. Hopefully we're protected enough. We're in the lee of the wind here, so we can get on. Right, lovely, lovely things, starting with a little pot of thyme. Brilliant. So I believe, so Paul has propagated some of these, and some were from there. They had a table sale at their allotment to raise funds for their allotment. So some of these have been propagated by Paul, some propagated by others. I'm not sure which, but in any case, so a little thyme. Now the plan for this was to go near the marjoram in the top of the wall. I'm going to hold off doing that for now though, because that marjoram, it seems to be really struggling up there. I make sure, you know, it gets watered, not too much water, but, you know, anyway, we'll see. Because I don't want it to die. It's lovely, and I love thyme. I love using thyme in my Greek bean stew, so I might have to end up somewhere else. Now, another little Verbena bonariensis. So this is going to go in the front garden. Quite a lot of this is going to go in the front garden because, well, I wanted Verbena for the front garden anyway. Those tall sort of at the back of the front. But some of what I planted out there has disappeared. No, it's been completely massacred by caterpillars. So all the brassicas, should we wait for them to be quiet? All the Cavallo Nero stripped to just the tiniest little bits of the ribs, just gone, utterly gone. The thing is, I did see some of the caterpillars. What I'm hoping now is maybe they were hummingbird, hawk, moth caterpillars. And if they were, well, never mind that I've lost my Cavallo Nero. Think of it more that I've fed a beautiful, beautiful insect, or when it grows up, a beautiful insect. Anyway, so they've all now been taken out. Well, what was left, and they've done quite a bit of damage to chard and bits like that. So I've cleared quite a bit. So this is going to go to the front, also for the front garden. Now these are ones I don't know. This lovely variegated leaf, and then I need to water them. It's not looking at its best, I need to water them, but these little yellow flowers. Now this is, it's yellow loosestrife is its common name, but its real name is Lysimachia punctata, Lysimachia. So it will get to about 60 centimetres tall. So I've looked these up because it's one of those things, you know, if it's going to stay at this height, it can be at the front. If it's going to be 60 centimetres, it can go to the middle. It likes sun or partial shade, and it flowers June to August. Lovely. Oh, and its spread is about 90 centimetres. I know exactly where that's going to go. Oh, and also to mention on this one, it said it can be used, and this is another little clue, it can be used as a pond margin plant. Just to make sure you put it in one of those baskets that contains it. And knowing that it's a pond margin plant tells you something about its moisture needs, its moistness needs. So it is quite dry, hence the flowers gone. So I just make sure that stays well watered. Also for the front, I've got two of these. Got two, however, hold on a minute, that one, the leaves have come off, but there's still a little bit of leaf down there, so I'm hoping that there's still some root down there. I'm not going to give up on it, I'm not going to plant it yet. I'm going to keep it in here to see if it will sprout back. This is called, there's a label for this one, although I wrote it down too. This is Cicericium striatum. I guess striatum for the leaves. It's a clump forming perennial, so when it comes to propagating, it's a case of dividing. So, you know, pop your fork in it, ease it apart, take one clump off, put it to another part of your garden, free plant. It will get to 80 centimetres tall with a spread of about 50 centimetres. Great, because that front garden's not massive. Oh, it's also known as the yellow Mexican satin flower. That's pretty, isn't it? It likes full sun. Oh boy, it's going to get full sun out there. It's so sunny. I didn't write anything down about its flower. I think, if I remember correctly, it flowers on a bit of a spike, and it's another yellow one. So with eventually, you know, lavender and verbena, there's going to be purple. With these two now, these are going to be yellow. And with hopefully the ones that will self-seed in years to come, calendula and Escultia, California poppy, being in the oranges. So we're going to have those lovely bluey purples of the lavender and verbena, and then we're going to have those pops of yellows, oranges, right through to almost reds of the Escultia and calendula. Forgot then. So they'll be really lovely. It's picking up. I've got washing out. I need to remember to get that in, because apparently tomorrow anything that's not pinned down is going to be gone. Right, and then 3 last plants, and this one I think Paul said he bought for me at the table sale. A lovely hosta, but look at that flower. Isn't that pretty? So that is going to go into my shade garden. There's nowhere to put it yet, because obviously having broken the ribs. So I'm only 4 weeks post breaking them. It's getting on for 5 now. I think it's 5 weeks. So I'm still not going to do anything like digging, forking out that shade area, let them heal properly. So that's going to stay in its pot for now, but really pretty. So I'm going to sort of put this down towards that end of the garden. You know what, I might even just pop it on top of my compost bin, and then I can see it from my bedroom window. Gorgeous hosta. Don't know what name it is, but the flowers, they almost look like little crocuses, don't they? And then, oh my goodness, this is pretty. It's a mint. We don't know what kind. But what I love about this is these sort of burgundy-ish stems. Really beautiful colour. I'll probably give this a nip out to help it to bush out, and from the nippings I'll make some tea. I think it's a spearmint. It's spearminty rather than pepperminty. Now, of course, never plant mints directly into your garden unless you want your entire garden to be mint. You might want that. They are so invasive. So I've got a pot for this. We'll do it another day, and I'll show you why I've ended up with a spare pot. But this is going to go to a spare terracotta pot. Oh, and I've picked up today, it's so pretty, I'll show you when we do that, a really lovely little plate picked up in a charity shop for 99p. It's gorgeous. So that can act as a saucer, because those roots will come out of the bottom of the terracotta and they'll get into the cracks in the patio, and it'll move that way. So even underneath the pot, I need to stop those roots from going anywhere. And then finally, oh, a little bit of twig blew into my decolletage and tickled. Finally, this is super exciting. This is a project and a half though. It's a bramble, but it's a cultivated variety of bramble. So it's thornless, brilliant. Paul and I chatted and hummed and hawed about where I should put this. I was thinking initially, because the rose is growing on my shed wall, but it doesn't get any direct sun, and probably this is going to need direct sun at some point in order to help ripen its fruits. I'll do some more research. the thinking is I might plant it actually in my snicket, so outside of my garden wall, and train it up the outside of my garden wall. It's very trainable because that does get a lot of sun at times in the day, particularly the afternoon. It should love that afternoon sun. So that may happen. The only reason I hesitate with that is because I've got to clear the snicket. Gosh, it's weedy. I don't think it's ever been touched. So that's a possibility for it. But anyway, what a beautiful, beautiful set of gift plants for the garden. The hosta, the bramble, herbs, I can't wait, the verbena for the front. I adore the verbenas. And what's really lovely is 2 new to me plants, because I've never had really space for growing flowers, so they're all coming thick and fast and new to me. And I can't wait for that colour combination of the purples, yellows and oranges. I'm hoping it will work. So that's it for now. I'm going to hunker down, get the washing. Oh, I'm going to quickly film out here while I can. Courgettes and courgette harvesting for that soup recipe. But yeah, I think the next couple of days are going to be very much hunkering down indoors, away from whatever this storm's going to do to us. But today it's about get everything in from the garden that needs to come in, put away everything that needs to be put away, and yeah, just keep on getting on with my happy little humble, frugal life here at my cottage by the sea in Dorset. Happy days. Alright lovelies, until the next one, please take care of yourselves. Happy planting, if you're still planting and finding bits and bobs, and happy propagating. That's the big thing, isn't it? Propagating. And then, sorry, I just caught the curry squash out the corner of my eye. It's growing by the day. Yeah, propagating, not just to fill your own garden with free plants, but propagating so you can share plants with your friends, because for me it's one of the deep joys in life, is to be able to share seeds and plants with friends. Oh, love it, I love it, I love it. And when I get shared some back, it's absolutely a joy. So yeah, happy propagating. Until the next one, cheerio.